Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody, to this edition of the Red Kingdom After Hours. It is December 12th, Tuesday, 2023. We've got the normal crew, me, Clinton, Dale, and Lonnie, but as you can see, we also got a very special guest today, 11-year NFL veteran, 7 of those with your Kansas City Chiefs, played with, Mr. Tony Gonzalez and Priest Holmes, just to name a few. Jason Dunn, thank you for joining us. How's your night been so far?
It's good, man. Appreciate y'all having me. Man. Tuesdays are kind of one of those nights, like, it's moving into like Wednesday going to be the next day, and it's going to be that roller coaster ride back down the hill. So I like Tuesdays for that reason. It's kind of slow. It's a nice little mix for the night, man. But no, thank you guys, man, for having me on the show.
Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. How y'all been? How y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
I'm doing good. A lot of things going on right now. There's a lot of fuss going on. But hey, we still here. We still happy. We still pushing forward. We're going to see how it go. So,
right.
Yes, sir.
Shoot, I mean, I look at it like this. Shoot, if you're a fan, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah. Right.
When you're talking about all these things that's going on, sometimes I see people, are we abandoning? And people, I'm like, well, shoot, you was never a fan anyway. If you're going to abandon the ship.
True.
I don't want somebody that's on the ship, but every time something gets hard, you're going to jump off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about taking a lifeboat with you. No, don't do that. So
you don't remember the old times.
That's right. I think sometimes it gives you context to understand how much Kansas City has been going through. They're seeing like this era right now where you have this, a lot of success.
Mm-hmm.
You got to appreciate it. You have to appreciate the team. You got to appreciate everything that they're doing. And so that's what I look at. And, paying homage, giving these guys and actually, staying behind them with the support is where I'm at. I know that for a fact, just being in the locker room, how tough it is, to get out there and the fans love you. Some are going to hate you. But I know when I was getting out there on the field, I wanted to go win. I wanted to go win not just for myself, but I wanted to win for the city of Kansas City and the fans itself, right? Because that was my team. That's what I'm playing for. That's right. So yeah, it's crazy times right now. Crazy times. So
do you think that the angry Pat throwing the helmet and cussing out the refs and stuff like that, do you think that's a switch that we should see now going forward? Some sort of more accountability or something?
I like to say the passionate Pat. Okay, I don't want to angry Pat is not what we need. We need the passionate Pat, right?
Right.
Fiery in the conversation, and take all that you had, take it to the teammates, take it to all the guys about them getting their job done, doing the right things, lining up correctly, not making penalties, not dropping balls, and himself too. So hopefully he's in the mirror talking to himself as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Old Pat voice like, hey man, you got to get yourself going. Let's go. That's what I want to see. And I do believe that, with how things are going, I think all of this is just a culmination of obviously what's been going on over the past few weeks. They've been hearing the noise outside of the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to creep in a little bit, right? And that's not what you want to see. And so what you need to do at this moment, you need to shut all the doors, lock all the doors, and say, hey, look, it's going to be us in this building that's going to get this thing done. We're the only ones going to be able to fix it. We're the only ones. It's not everybody talking about us out here and everybody, having their own opinion about who should be running what and who's supposed to be doing who. But this is what we need to do as a team and as a unit to get this thing together.
Mm-hmm.
So going off of that, like, do you feel that the players who are on social media who is responding to some of these fans, what are your thoughts about that? Because, sometimes I feel they don't understand that, this is like our safe space as well too, to actually go off, rant about what we've seen in the game and, give our takes about it. I do understand that a lot of them do like to go out there and tag those players as well, but how do you feel about them actually responding to that? And do you feel like that could be a distraction when they go out there and actually go play a game?
Yeah, personally myself, I mean, I don't like it, but sometimes this is the era we in. This is how everybody operates, and so social media is such a huge thing that drives guys' brands, and be able to reach out to the fans. And I'm on Twitter just because of those things, because I am able to reach the fans, but I'm not playing, so that's a whole different thing now, right? You can talk about me all you want to. My days are done. I'm like, hey, shoot, I'll put mine in the books. So if I'm out there on the field, I would get a little. I might get a little testy. I would. You might touch me a little bit, and it's hard to. And here's the problem, because it's hard to separate getting all the accolades, all the congratulations, and then seeing the trolls jumping all over you, how terrible you are, and you need to get out of here. We need to get rid of you next week, and who can we get in there? Take all your catches, whatever it is, right? I just think it's tough, and it to me it is a distraction somewhat. I knew when I was in Philly, when I came in as a rookie, playing in Philly. Philly is, when I'm talking about that market, my goodness. I mean, it is rough. It is probably one of the roughest markets in the NFL, no doubt about it. Yep. I was told, don't read the papers and don't listen to the radio, because everything you're going to hear is going to be negative. And it's hard to play like that. It's hard to play that way. I think about it like this. Okay, I was just thinking when you were saying it, it's almost like you got this club, okay, and the club got some of the prettiest girls in there, right? But you also know it's got some of the roughest customers in town in that joker too, okay?
Right.
And so you need little problems, it's going to be some problems. So even when you go in and you think you're trying to pull some air up out of there, okay, doing a good job, it's always going to be something that goes down. And I don't know if you want to do that, right? Why visit that club? There's other places to go to, other things you need to do for your sanctuary. Don't go to that club. And so I feel like social media is that, right? That's right. That's what you kind of liken it to. So I do believe that it is somewhat a distraction. And when you start getting into that whole game of going back and forth with fans, then you've lost. You lost.
Yeah. Like leave it to Chiefs Kingdom to defend you, or go how it goes. There's a lot of people out there that's doing that. Monty, what would you about to say?
Yeah, so I was just gonna keep it with just speaking about the current, just current players and just current state of the Chiefs. So I know that you were a former tight end, like you said, you were with Philly for a stint, and then you were with KC for a stint. What are your current thoughts on the Kansas City tight end room as of right now? We know we have a ever aging Travis. That was a little bit dinged up this year, and then I know we have an heir apparent that me and Dale love, Mr. Jody Fortson. But what are your current thoughts on the Chiefs tight end state of Chiefs tight end room?
Oh man, I love it. I look at it, and it was almost like we were back in the day, man. We were the best in the business. New tight end set now. Shoot, you got Travis Kelce and Noah Gray. Jody, of course, he had gotten hurt. Blake Bell. I mean, this is the best tight end room in the NFL by far. It's not even close. And so what I see them guys out there doing week in and week out, they put their hard hat on and they go to work. They're fine going in and hitting, catching, whatever they need to do to get their game going. And so I say this is probably one of the most solidified units on the team, as well as I think the DBs are another group that has that unit, that cohesiveness. But with Travis doing what he's doing, and I think people don't realize, because everybody wanted to, he's getting slow, he's losing the step, and I'm like, man, that joker is still beating him to death out there. You see his yards he's making, how many catches he already has. He hasn't shown me he slowed down. Now, he had an injury, right? And we need to understand that's what slowed him down, okay? He's still getting better from that. So I don't believe it's age-related. I don't believe that whatsoever. Shoot, now he got a new boo, and Taylor Swift.
Got to put on a show.
Yes, you got to put it on a show every night. But with you going back to that with the aging, I'm gonna be honest with you. This always been my take on Travis Kelce. He always been like a slow mover to me. Like what he does, fluid. It's just he knows how to do it. He's very swift, and he knows how to. He has that great escapability. So I think like we always focus on if he's slowing down or not. I think it's just if he's still able to be effective, we still seeing 80+ yards a game from him, even at this age, and being able to be productive down the stretch as well. I mean, I'm going to take that every day. So I mean, he's only 34. We acting like 34 is just an old age. That's kind of offensive to a lot of people who is that age right now, still moving around. So we got to be thoughtful, got to be thoughtful for that. So, I mean, I do understand that, but I do agree. I think this is probably one of the most strongest rooms that we have out there in the NFL. So,
Travis Kelce, he has 80 receptions for 896 yards. Okay, 5 TD. Yeah. That don't seem like slowing down to me. It I'll tell you what, if that's what slowing down looks, I want every bit of slowing down.
Bring that back.
You know what I mean? For real. So, and like you said, he is, to me, I always called him the rubber band man, right? He's not going to let you get a full hit on him. Okay. He's learned how to take care of his body. But he is elusive. He is. He's kind of like those guys, like you don't really know how fast he's moving. And before you know it, he's past you. Right? Or he done juked around you. Like, man, how did Joker do that? With that slow move he just made, he just juked me out of my, out of my shoes. And he's effective. He's effective, man. So, yeah, man. Shout out to Travis Kelce for all the things he's been doing and still hitting them over the head with it. So,
facts.
Right. Do you think the Chiefs should be running a lot more multiple tight end sets, even more than they tend to do in most games?
Yes. I do. I really do. I love the 12 personnel. 13, maybe not as much, but I do love the 12 personnel. And the reason is because it gives you 2 wide receivers out there on the field, just in case you want to pass the football. So we still got Travis Kelce, who's he could catch anything just as good as any wide receiver. And then you got Noah Gray, who's been learning a whole lot from Travis Kelce, who's been getting open, catching footballs for us. So he's been playing well. And then it just gives you that element, like I said, for the running game. And what you do is you got to keep the defense on their toes because they don't know what you're going to do. Are you going to run? Are you going to pass out of this? And so I think when you have a very effective 2 tight end set, that puts the defense at an advantage, really.
Part of me was wondering do you think the Chiefs would think of it as like a defeat if they completely leaned into our best quality is our running game and that specific package of players because it gives us the most flexibility against defenses, maybe pigeonholes them into certain formations, a certain amount of linebackers or safeties or corners, depending on whatever?
Well, I will say this. I would politic doing more of it. I wouldn't say it's what we had to do for the majority of the time. Just more of that is what we need to incorporate into what we do. So obviously, because the way he's just been eating defense's lunch up, you got to run the football more. We understand that the run opens up the pass. That's always been true. It hasn't changed at all. So when you see effective teams that run the football, you see how when you make the play action, what it does to the linebackers, the defensive, the defensive line, the corners, everything. It changes the whole dynamic of a game. And so I think you just need to do more of it. But when Pacheco and those guys are doing a great job running the football, you got to give them that. You have to give them what they want, especially the O-line. And I say this all the time. O-line likes coming off and hitting guys. They don't like, sitting in the asset and catching guys. They don't like doing that, okay? That's a little bit hard for them. Them jokers been eating burgers and everything all day. You want now, you got this, this Maserati coming at me. You want me to go catch him? So I just think that the play action, it helps out everybody. It helps out the wide receivers, right, who's supposedly not getting open, supposedly. It helps out tight ends, it helps the running backs, it helps out the O-line, and it helps out Pat too, with maybe like a little bit more better window of things he wants to see. So more of it.
And I know that you had a stint with Andy Reid, and this is just a question I just want to know to get a take on Big Red. Just a little taste of him. Do you think is he more of a stubborn type coach where he's more set on passing the ball and he has a willingness to run, but I know that his philosophy has been more of a passing type coach and to bring in the show and bring that to the league and show that you can win championships like that. So do you think that we are kind of seeing the fallout from that? Him not willing to run the ball and just wanting to pass?
So, I had Andy out during the spring and part of the summer before I had to sit out. And I know Andy, because of his brilliance, that's his MO. He wants to show exactly how good he is calling plays. And the thing was, that was kind of like his knock from Philly fans. I used to hear it all the time. I got, guys I played with and, of course, fans, JD, Andy don't want to run the ball. He don't want to do it. Just look what we're doing up here in Philly. And so, yeah, that might be his Achilles heel, because he loves more creative things passing the football. But when you had guys like in Philly that that was doing Brian Westbrook and those guys, that was tremendous in what they did. You have to run the football, and so I think Andy, if he doesn't see maybe a back like Brian Westbrook, then he's not going to run it. Okay, and so you almost got to force his hand to run the football. Isaiah Pacheco has forced his hand to say, you know what, we got to run the football. There's no doubt. Okay, we are absolutely moving the football, and I don't care. Isaiah Pacheco's getting 3.9, 4.4 yards a carry. He's effective. That running hard and what he's is helping out the Chiefs. It's helping out the offense a whole lot. And so you got to stick with it. Now I know Andy's going to go with what works, right? I mean, you got to do what wins games. Period. You got to go with winning games. I just hate it sometimes. These past few years, and y'all seen it, that we would get down there on the goal line, 1st and 5, and then we start passing. It'd be like 3 passes. And I'm like, what are you doing? Or if Sherman was in the game, then we had the little fullback dive. Like, everybody knows it's coming. He comes in, we like, here comes the fullback dive. We know it's coming, right?
Right.
So I'm glad now that Pacheco's getting in for the 3rd and short, okay? And we're running the football effectively. Because it works. It absolutely works. And so I'm glad he's grown, at least in that, of understanding, like, yeah, we gotta lean on 10 for those things, especially the run game.
Yeah, I remember the 3 of us geeking out on Sunday that Andy decided to run the ball on the goal line and they actually scored on a touchdown. So it was like, finally, maybe he'll believe in it going forward.
Yes. Yeah. Look, you keep the defense honest. That's what I look at. Especially, look, down there in the red zone, especially on the goal line, everything is tighter. Everything is tighter. And trying to find windows to throw the football is very tough. It is. So why not try to, make positive yards running the football? And so we've seen that. We've seen where guys get caught in the piles and our big guys just start pushing it and start pushing it, okay? Shoot, if anything, he can watch his old team Philly, how they do it. Them jokers get in. I don't care. But they do a little tush push and all that. It don't matter. It don't matter what it is, right? They know it. They know it.
Yep.
So yeah, man. And then, CEH getting some carries. I was happy to see CEH, man, start to eat a little bit. I was happy. Him and McKinnon, very happy to see that happen. Right?
Yeah. And I play devil's advocate because I was one of the few on here who kept on complaining about Clyde. And I saw him do that hurdle on Sunday. I was like, okay, we going back to LSU Tigers days?
Contract year.
That's what we're trying to get to? That's what I want, because if we can – once Pop get back and he's healthy and he's ready to go, we know we got our number 1 back. But being able to have that guy, Lonnie talked about it a lot in our prior shows.
Yeah,
he's somebody who can be effective in the pass game, because that's what he did with Joe Burrow on them when they won a national championship. So if we can implement him back into this offense, maybe we can take a lot of that responsibility away from the wide receivers and let them kind of find their rhythm and find their connection with Mahomes, because it's definitely going to be needed down the stretch. And I definitely enjoyed watching Clyde on Sunday. I was like, okay, keep on feeding him the ball. We went away from it and I got mad. I was like, keep on doing it. I'm seeing something with it. It's like when he has the opportunities, he's going to take advantage of it. We forget what we saw his rookie year against Houston, that first game of the season, went over 100 yards. So it was phenomenal.
For sure. And I believe Clyde is sitting there saying, like, look, man, I'm the backup right now. I ain't the guy, okay? And so if the Chiefs don't pay me, somebody going to pay me. So somebody going to see us little jump over the pal, right? And somebody going to jump out of their seat. Hopefully it's another team in the NFL saying, like, we need to get that guy on our squad, right? Pay him a little bread, So he's hey, look, man, he's on a job interview right now. So that's what it's all about. Like, what do you got to lose? When he took that jump, he's like, man, what do I have to lose right now? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm glad he did it too, man. I was happy for him. And I I'm not one of those, I'm not really critical on guys and players. I just not, because I've been in his shoes. I know how it is. I know how the development, sometimes it don't work because you get injuries. I went through almost a similar thing in Philly. I ended up having 2 knee surgeries when I was in Philadelphia. Lost my speed. I was running a 4.45 40. Had a 41-inch vertical. So I used to be that guy that used to stretch the field. And so, so you look at my film shows it. But, it doesn't tell the whole story. When all of a sudden, when you start seeing some of the injuries that piled up, couldn't do anything about it, man. I'm just playing football, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I love that. I love that.
Feel it. What do you think of the current O-line situation? The team that we saw on Sunday with Wanye at left tackle. Are you satisfied with that 5 lineup in this season and your projection into the next 5 years or so? Resign Creed, resign Trey, because they're both extremely worth it.
Yeah. So, I like Wanye. I do. Still a little raw. His feet are still a little heavy. And so him trying to get adjust to the speed of the game is going to take some time. It's going to take some time. I like Donovan Smith, obviously, because he's just a wily vet. He's got more to him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the injuries and whatnot is one of those things with a guy like him, because you just kind of worry about it. But we got to deal with Donovan. And the thing is, when you sit here and you watch what he does, he's trying to beat guys up. He's trying to beat the defensive end. And everybody up. That's what he does. And that's what I love about it. But Wanye's been watching it. And I see Wanye kind of doing the same thing too. And so that's what I love about it, because I didn't know what to expect out of Wanye. I thought it was going to take maybe a year or two. But then, him coming in, especially in this position, he's done well for us. He's done well. Now, like I said, he's got to get better with his feet, because there's a whole lot of speed out there, man. And he's, like when they come in, he's got to be ready for those guys to come, okay? But he'll get better with time. And talking about the Creed and the Trey, those things are going to be tough. When contracts come here, it's a whole different conversation, right? Because usually what ends up happening, teams either like, hey, man, I got a check for you. They just start looking in like wallet behind their back. Like, I got this for you. Then you can take this. But we'll see, man. They're 2 young, very talented guys. We'll have them for a number of years, for a couple of years at least. And hopefully we'll be able to keep them. We'll just have to see.
And I just wanted to kind of ask the same question. Now, on that opposite side of that offensive line, you have a guy that's just been struggling. I know you don't like to grill on former NFL players, like you said. I mean, well, NFL players, current NFL players. I know you are a former NFL player. But we kind of give him a little bit of stuff. Mr. Jawan Taylor sitting over there on that other side of the offensive line. What are your thoughts on him and how he's kind of been doing this year?
Jawan Taylor, man, he's been kind of up and down to me. And the thing is, I think it's more up and down. We see it because of, all the controversy the first few games, right?
Right.
It's almost like he couldn't get it right. And, he became the topic of conversation week in and week out about the referees and they're picking on him. And so for him to finally get that right, the lining up and where he's supposed to be, cool. And so he's effective. I think he does a good job. He's an athletic tackle. And at times, just like anybody else, once you get the bullseye on your back, it's hard to get it off of you in a sense. Right. And so the holding calls that he gets, I know he's just being aggressive. I know when you blocking, you want to be up in everybody's chin, and I mean it's what you do. I mean you hold it. Look, I see guys on the line hold all game, all game. They held our defensive line all game. They were doing things out there that was criminal against our guys. You know what I mean? It was. I was like, man, what are they doing this at? Like this, snatching guys down, and it was crazy. And they weren't making any calls on him. But Jawan Taylor, because he had that bull's on his back early, obviously the team's going to be like, hey, man, look at him. He's going to be outside. So now they ain't looking at him just being outside. They're watching him. So now they're going to be locked him even more. They're going to be sitting there looking like, oh, well, now he's holding. What we going to do with that? So I think sometimes that's what gets him. And sometimes his feet and hands get him in trouble too. I think he's had it. Like I said, it just started off rough for him, and it's hard, man. Once you get behind that 8 ball, to not have that, right, that reputation. So he struggles at times. I hate the penalties because it seemed like untimely penalties, right?
Man.
Hey, God, come on, Juwan, what are you doing, baby? Come on. But at times, man, he does really well. Times he does really well. So I watch him. I grade guys. That's what I do on Mondays.
Yeah.
I grade guys to put him out. But he's definitely a starter in this league. He does a good job for us. You just want that consistency, like for him, right? That's what you want to see from him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we definitely want to see, and to piggyback off of that, because I actually been kind of defending him in a sense, just because I feel like when you line up against him, what I love about it, you got to go through him. You can't go around him. Like we said before, he's already athletic. So with him being dominant, and really, if he can just really get some of the key to detail in there, and just let's clean up on the penalties, I think Andy Reid can build him something to what we seen with Eric Fisher. This was a guy who was raw, that came out of college as well too. He was athletic and could play on both sides. And at the beginning of the offseason when we signed him, they thought about transitioning him over to the left tackle, if I'm not mistaken. If you heard anything different, JD. But
I didn't like that idea. But go ahead.
Huh?
I didn't like that idea at all. But go ahead.
I want to go into it. So like you don't like that at all. Like signing him 4-year, $80 million dollars. A lot of people think that's a high contract. Do you think that's overpaid at that position? And do you I'm telling people, like, you got Trent Williams making almost $30 million left tackle. I mean, for a right tackle, 4-year, 80. I mean, I'm not really upset. So how you feel about that contract and him if he should go over to left tackle? Okay.
All right. So look, I'm not going to be upset with a guy making this money. If he can get the money and they're going to pay him for it, fine, good. He got it. That's how I look. Okay. That's how I look at it. Now, if a guy got a team and, he was able to, swindle them, then so be it. I think with the market, obviously the left tackles get paid more because you're watching the blind side. But that the difference is starting to shift a little bit. Okay, right tackles are getting paid more because you got athletic guys on the right side too that's doing a great job. Okay, left-handed quarterbacks. And so because you have now defenses were saying, well, why don't we just take our best pass rusher and put it on the right side against the right tackle, right? Put it on the left side, let him go against the right tackle, the more unathletic one. And teams start, offenses like, well, shoot, we need to have an athletic right tackle too. So you start seeing that market starting to shift a little bit, right? Getting more money. So I'm not really mad at it, because at the end of the day, in about 3 years, that $20 million is going to look like a bargain. Because some of these jokers out here are going to be getting paid 25, 28. That's just the way it goes. That's how the NFL, the money's just going to keep going up. Money's going to keep going up. The thing is, I think when people look at the penalties, and here's the problem. When you look at the penalties, you look at some of the problems and the issues, then you start questioning, is he worth the 20? Is that 20 money? Right? And you got to do it. We're doing it with everybody else. Everybody counting everybody's money. Okay?
Right.
MVS got 19 catches. Is he worth the $11 million we gave him? Right? That's what they're going to say. Every catch is worth $1.5 million. Okay, I'm just saying. And I'm just saying. Okay, I'm not talking about anything. I'm just making the point that other people make. Right.
Yeah. Right.
So, but that's what it is. Everybody start counting money to see. And here's a fact, because I was going to put this on Twitter. I watched they showed Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow like back to back. I said, that's $85 million on the sideline right now. Justin Herbert, he's on the sideline right now. What's that, about 120? Is that what we're looking at? Something like that? 130 on the sideline. That's quarterbacks. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. So I'm about guys getting paid, and I don't know if y'all know this or not, man, but I was an advocate for the running backs to get paid more money than what they were. And I hate how they were running backs, but you open up the Brinks truck to the quarterbacks, making $55 million, gave Daniel Jones all that money, and then you want to give Saquon Barkley Swiss cheese. Okay.
Well, while his backup's looking really good in his absence, so making the conversation.
Daniel Jones need to send him a check for $5 million for the job he's doing. Here's what he needs to do. Same thing with Joe Burrow to Brown. We just send him about $5 to $10 million right now. So,
so you brought up earlier the penalties, and we all know the problems with those. Could you, from a player perspective, comment on why it seems like this season or like last couple seasons in particular, they feel like more costly than those first couple years with Mahomes, where it's like 3rd and 20, no problem, that'll be easy?
I think you look at the personnel, right? The personnel we had before, you can get 3rd and 20. You got a guy like Tyreek Hill, who's going to hold him in the building, right? You could throw a joker a 5-yard slant route, he'll take it to the house. He's going to hit his head on the goalpost. We don't have that guy this year. We ain't got him. So 3rd and 20 is going to be a little tough for us, right?
Yep.
So if you out there and a couple of wide receivers' knees are shaky, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't know if they're going to catch it or not. I'm just, we don't know, right? Because the timing has been off. Okay, I'm being funny now. I'm just saying, but the timing has been off. That you don't know, and you got to get creative, like with some of your calls, okay? Because you are expecting guys to get open, but I've seen a lack of maybe the route running, flattening the routes out, getting open, catching footballs that's deep, and that's tough. That's tough. And so, as a coach, you're looking at something like, well, that didn't work, right? You got to scratch that play. Well, that didn't work. That guy can't catch that ball. That didn't work because that guy can't run that route. So it's tough because then all of a sudden you become limited. So now what you're trying to do is you're trying to create things to get Travis Kelce open. Well, Travis is getting double and triple teamed by everybody. When it's 3rd and 20, that's the one guy that can't beat you is Travis Kelce, right? So I think that's the reason. Before you had Tyreek Hill, okay, and he made you dangerous because he could juke. Man, listen, I used to just laugh. I would laugh at the TV when he would just make moves on people. I would just laugh, make people look silly. Look at this. It's just so funny how he just do it. It's like literally like a grown man amongst children, So that's how it was to me, man. And when you don't have that guy, that dynamic player who was just a generational talent, it makes it tough. It makes it tough. So not too many guys got a guy like that on their team. So
and to piggyback off of that, speaking at 11 million in MVS, letting Tyreek Hill out of the building, letting him walk, and our current general manager Brett V showing that he's not really willing to go break the bank per se on wide receivers or any type of that type of talent. Do you think we still struggle at the wide receiver position next year drafting guys, or do we try and go get that wide receiver that we coveted after losing Tyreek Hill via free agency?
I'm big on having a veteran guy here and guy that produces. And so you got to look at a guy, what he does on other teams. Well, obviously what type of offenses that you run to get a guy here that's going to be able to take up all of that, the slack. That's what you got to do. And so when we signed MVS to that deal, we wanted him to be the guy to stretch the field. Well, we knew he did that in Green Bay, but he only caught 40 balls, up there in Green Bay. So, and he had Devontae Adams on the other side. So, I mean, I think we didn't really. I don't think we thought that through all the way. Put it that way. All right. I know we wanted more out of MVS. We wanted to give him that chance and opportunity to be that guy. And maybe the reality is, he wasn't that guy, and that's okay. It's all right. That's all right to do that. Now, look, when you was talking about letting, Tyreek Hill walk, as soon as Tyreek Hill wanted to make that, whatever, that $25 million, so sign, whatever it was, I would immediately. I'm like, come on in here. So, true. It got dicey with Devontae. Everybody else started getting paid. Tyreek like, oh no, I gotta see that money too. I gotta see it. Devontae getting that, I gotta see it too. So sometimes you got to jump on those things, man. But I'm a huge believer of getting an experienced guy here. That's why I was all about adamant of getting DeAndre Hopkins here. I want to be here. Okay, a lot of people thought, oh, he's washed up and all. Shoot, you see what he did last night. The sucker don't look washed either with them dreads swinging around. Okay,
it's wonderful.
Flying in the air like that. I'm like, okay, that sucker that hit. You gonna try to tell me he's washed up? No, man. And the thing was, he'd have been great for our young wide receivers. Because then all of a sudden you got a veteran guy who's teaching them all about the NFL. Because he got taught all about the NFL. In my show a couple of weeks ago, I had Larry Kirksey, okay, who coached Andre Johnson, and he had D-Hop, and Andre Johnson showed D-Hop what it meant to be a pro. He had one of the best receiver coaches in the business, and so all those things you got to take account for those things, right? Because you're hoping if a player has great coaches, all right, and he coached great players, which he coached Jerry Rice and all those guys. I mean, come on. You would think some of that's going to rub off. You would think, right? So that's how I have to look at it to get a guy like that here. So I don't know what we're going to do all season, but I am more on getting the veteran guy here and then finding a guy in the draft. You can find a guy in the draft, but that's hit or miss. You don't know what a guy's going to do in the draft. You have no idea.
So I can tell you a couple guys right now who's available. Got Mike Evans, Gabe Davis, T. Higgins, it looks like, and then Calvin Ridley. Out of those four, who you take?
And them must gonna be some heavy hitters, man. They're gonna break the bank, man. We got somebody, a whole lot of guys we need to sign. I don't even know. We looking at any of Hey, we looking for the $2 deal for them. Like, hey, man, look, we'll bring you in. See, I don't know if we got the 30 million for you. I don't know if we got it. You know,
right?
We know every single guy that you just named is going to ask for big dollars. Every single one of them.
Right.
Every single one of them. So I think, I mean, if I had my brothers right, and let's just say they signed a good deal, I mean, I like Calvin Ridley. I like Ridley. I like T. Higgins. I like all those guys. All those guys play. True. I don't think that's right or wrong answer with any of those. It's just, I don't know if we can sign it. I just don't think we can sign those guys. So,
probably not.
So,
can we go bottom tier? Is there some other guys, some bargain dollar guys we can get maybe?
I don't know if
maybe Darnell Mooney, maybe. Yeah.
And we was looking at Darnell Mooney in the trade deadline as well too. It's just I think Vitch been looking at those tier guys lately, and I mean we made it work with Juju last year, and I love it. I think Juju, if he would have stayed healthy, maybe instead of people considering him that number 2 option all the time, he could be that legit number 1. So I mean, when you look at it last year, I think we had a guy who can do it, and that fits the system. But can these other guys come in, be able to, dig it out, really follow the game plan, be able to get open in man-on-man coverage as well. We're looking for those one-on-one battles. That's what we're having trouble with now. So,
man,
yeah, it's just, do you want to put yourself in that situation when you already got that guys, and we can mold somebody like Rashee Rice? Hopefully, KT can stay healthy, because if he's not making mistakes, we're not going to talk about that. We're done having that conversation.
Yep.
But we all know, like, if I feel like we could do something, but are you bringing in the same type of guys if you're doing that? That's how I feel. How you feel about that?
So we have here. We definitely got we got a way of body type, okay, that we play with.
Right.
Juju would have been perfect being here, right? I think Juju in this offense now, still what he did last year, we would have been having these issues we have right now, and with Rashee Rice on top of it too, right?
Exactly.
So, I think just with the problems that we have, and we look for the body type to fit the scheme that we have, there was guys that came out that I liked. I liked my man Tank Dale. I like Dale a lot. I was trying to get that joke. And I'm just like, man, we like that. But are we looking for the 6'3" receiver? I don't know if we're looking for the 6'3" guy. You know, unless we're gonna throw the ball to him. And I think hopefully, you know, we'll add that element and say, let's get a guy here that can go up and get the ball. You know, snatch the ball out of the air. Okay, that's what I need. We need a guy that can pluck it out of the air.
Yes, so that's a good point, because it's strange, because early Andy in Philly, he didn't have like the small type of receivers. He had a like Terrell Owens, big body receiver. He gets to Kansas City, there's Dwayne Bowe, and it continues that. But then once Tyreek Hill comes in the picture, it seems like that tends to be the prototype they continue to look for. Do you think that at this point they see this like instant success with Rashee Rice and say, okay, we need more of these scattered around the field, because it's no longer Pat run around for 10 seconds and stall for time. Now it's wait 5 seconds and bomb it. And if it's not somebody running all the way to the end zone, you're throwing it towards the sidelines where only you know he's going to get it.
Yeah, I think you do have to get a guy like that here. Okay, I think you have to adapt and say, man, it'd be great to have a guy like that here. I think what ended up happening is because she has so much success. Okay, all right, I'm gonna be truthful here. Here we go. All right. I think because of the success we had here with Tyreek Hill and the other guys that were kind of small in this offense, then we felt like we got away with it. And then we plugged in Juju after Tyreek left, and it gave us a sense of arrogance and complacency. Okay. To the point where Veach was like, well, shoot, why are we going to spend a whole lot of money on these guys? We could just plug and play like the Patriots almost did. Almost like the Patriots used to do, right? That's what Brady was doing. They go get a new wide receiver. Next thing you know, they're up to Pro Bowls. They go to a different team, and these guys ain't eating. Well, why is that? Well, because of the system he was in, they were able to produce. I think, to be honest with you, I think Beach and them thought the same thing. Well, we're just going to plug and play guys in. And we'll just work like that, because we know the number one receiver is going to be Travis Kelce. We know that. Okay, everybody else filters in after that. Well, then what ends up happening? We don't have the relationships and the rapport. Okay, everybody's not on the same page in the field that you need. It looks a little bit different. It's not what you thought it was going to be. And so now it's like, oh, okay, maybe we overthought this. Okay, well, maybe we didn't do anything. And even when we had a chance and opportunity during free agency, we still didn't do nothing. Okay, I still believe that was a little bit of arrogance there, right? And look, I get it. Okay, have every right to feel arrogant. You have every right to. Okay, you've been one of the top offenses in the past few years, ever since Pat's got here. Okay, you've been to 3 Super Bowls, won 2 of them in the past 4 years. Okay, right. You're supposed to be walking around with your neck and chest out, right? And say you got it all figured out. I would, okay? Shoot, if I would have won 2 Super Bowls and been to 3, what you gonna tell me? Yeah, JD, you need to, okay, I got you. All right, look, this is what I'm doing. Okay, I don't care what everybody else won't do. All right, I got results, and I think this is kind of caught up to us. But I do see the guy, and I do believe guys have gotten better. Okay, it's just a slow progression. Is slower than what we expected. All right, because we want everything now. But I think you have to get more of Kadarius Toney involved. Okay, I think you have to get more of Rashee Rice involved. Like that back body throw to Rashee Rice in the game, or put it right on him. I'm like, we need to see more of that. Period. Bottom line, right? We need to see more of that. Okay, so when you have a guy that has that ability, shoot, bring another guy that looks like him in here. Okay. But I just, I said this, man, this is a small man's offense. We like all the little running around, the jet sweeps, all the little cute stuff sometimes, and it gets us in trouble. And so we got a lot of those guys here. We got a lot of guys, 5'9", say they 5'10", but they 5'10" on the phone book. I say that all the time. 5'10", standing on the tiptoes. So we're trying to win with them. Okay, that's what we're trying to do, and we just got to keep giving them opportunities to win. So that's what I think, man. That's what I think. I think part of it is the arrogance, right? So,
yeah, and going to your point, because I was just thinking about the league today, and thank you for putting that point out about Rashee Rice. That's been my guy, being promoting that the whole time. He reminded me of my favorite Chiefs wide receiver, Lonnie. We're not going to talk about it, Dwayne Bowe. I don't care. That's my guy. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but to go into that, really, do you think in today's league, having these type of guys to where, really it's a lot of number 2s, number 3s and stuff like that, that you feel like just filling the roster and we're trying to pick and plug like the old Patriot way, we see we're having trouble with that. Do you think this is a league now to where you have to have at least 1 or 2 weapons on your offense to where it has to be effective and you're going to be a Super Bowl caliber team?
Absolutely. No doubt about it. You can't get away from it. You just can't. And so when I look at other teams and I see how other guys are producing, I'm like, we need to have that. We need to do those things. Case in point, there's 2 guys that are on the Packers. Okay, it's Dobbs and Christian Watson. I wanted both those guys here. Wanted them both. We could have got Dobbs in about the 4th round. And he's a great receiver and runs great routes. I mean, I think he led whatever college, maybe Nevada. So I forgot where he went to, but he was producing, and you could see the talent. The talent jumped out on the screen. But I think you have to have at least, that depth in what you want to do offensively. You got to have, I'm talking about 3 studs, period. 3 guys immediately that that there's not going to be any type of lax in. If our starter goes out, this guy comes in, he can still do his job. Other team that I like, right? Almost runs the same offense. Eric Bieniemy, he's got 3 good receivers over there in with the Commanders. He's got 3 good. So I think you have to have that if you want to be successful in this league. You have to. Jacksonville, same thing. Who you want to go with? Cincinnati, who you want to go with? Buffalo, who you want to go? You know what I mean? So that's the standard I'm seeing. That's what you have to do as an offense, man. You have to have that as offense. And an effective running game. We got the effective running game with Pacheco, right? We got the greatest tight end in the NFL right now. Okay, so put some things around him. Give some help, man. Give him some help. All right, you need some dogs.
Right.
You need some dogs. You need some dogs.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, sir.
And I was just gonna piggyback off of Dale's question. I know you just mentioned Dobbs and Christian Watson. So as far as Scott Moore, I think that he was in that same draft with those guys coming out. What are your current thoughts on Scott Moore? I know a lot of people feel like that ship is flown and we should kind of jump ship on Scott Moore and kind of just let that be whatever it's going to be, because it just doesn't look like it's working out.
So Scott Moore, I think, is going to take longer to develop. I think Scott Moore is one of those guys that's a situational guy. I think you got to put him in the right position to make plays for you. I think he's more of a slot guy, no doubt about it. But he could have easily benefited on having an experienced wide receiver in front of him. And I think he got seen Juju last year, right? And so that would have helped in his development. But I think he's one of those guys, man. Some guys, it's going to take longer to develop. Scott Moore is that guy. It's going to take longer for him to develop, especially the guy you're not feeding him. And so if you're trying to throw deep fade routes to a guy who's 5'9", I mean, man, I don't know if that's the right thing to do with it. Okay. The double moves, perfect. The juke moves, perfect. Finding the windows and the space and whatnot, that's what he's great at. And he was good at that in college. So we try to run a jet sweep with him. Find out that didn't work. It's like, no, we got somebody else to do that. And so sometimes, you're trying to find a guy's strong suit, and then you play off of it. Okay, you got to do that. But I'm not. Look, I think Scott Moore is a talented wide receiver. I think we just need to use him correctly, man. I just do. I really. I don't think they are.
Yep.
So how much of the receiving issues, because it's what it's called, and a lot of people are pointing fingers at certain players, the thing that people don't realize is the Chiefs have a brand new wide receivers coach, especially first year in the NFL. So how much of the like quote unquote blame do you think should go towards the receiver coach, Mr. Embry?
Okay. So I'm gonna say it like this. Like Larry Kirksey said, like Al Saunders said on our show, coaches that coached for a number of years in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things that you do as a coach to get your guys prepared and ready. Al Saunders used to run his wide receivers down in practice after every throw. He would run them down. The reason he would run them down is because he would tell them what they did right or what they did wrong, okay, on every play. And the thing is, for young guys, it takes that. It takes that dedication. It takes that time and that effort to put into these guys. And I Connor, I know Connor was he was a young boy, okay? His dad was my tight ends coach, John Embry, Kansas City. All right. So that's why I've tried to at least hold my tongue somewhat. But I'm gonna be honest here, okay? Because coaches need to be on their job too. All right. So I'm gonna be critical on saying, yeah, there's some things he needs to do as a wide receiver coach. Absolutely. And so if you're not really on par, and maybe your message may not be getting across like it should, then that's on any of those guys, because you have got to be that guy. Okay.
Right.
Make sure he's that guy too. So he's got to have his stuff tight as well, like everybody else. Look, and if it was me, okay, and I coach high school and I coach college. If I'm not getting my job done, I want you to get on me. I'm gonna come. Believe me, when I come in that room and I look on the film and my guys ain't doing what they're supposed to do, you best believe, I promise you, the very next week or the week after that, we're gonna be tight. You don't have to worry about us.
Right.
We're gonna have our stuff together. Okay, you got me? We're gonna work. We're gonna work to death to get there. So yeah, I put some of this on coaching, no doubt about it. And I think when you have young guys, you got to put a veteran coach in that position to make sure you get these guys right. Okay, not talking bad anything about Connor, but I'm just saying that for me, I would put somebody in there that has a little bit more experience, a little bit longer, especially when you have guys that are inexperienced that's in your room. Okay.
So to relate that to like your past experience,
yes.
If you were a player for a coach and your position group didn't play well, and for one game or several weeks, whatever, and you know that your coach is getting chewed out by the head coach, isn't it on you guys to be like, man, my coach is getting chewed out, and for the most part, it's all on us. So is that like does every player have that, or is it more just kind of an attitude? Some players have that, some players are more aloof, and it is what it is.
See, and you can be cavalier on your disposition, how you work, right? You may not think it's important, but I'm gonna tell you how coaches used to tell me or tell us in the room. Coaches is like, man, you trying to get me fired? I'll tell you what, get me fired, I'm taking some of y'all with me. Jimmy Ray said, he told me, I said, if you get me fired, I'm taking some of you guys with me. We all out of a job, believe that. And so if I'm looking over here at this guy and this sucker over here, I'm talking to him and he's looking at his fingernails or he's on his phone, you ain't getting me fired, buddy. Somebody else will be coming in here. And I don't care how much money you make. I don't care who they said you were. This is what has to happen, okay, for us to be better. Because I'm getting my rear end chewed out. I'm like, look at my rear end. I ain't got no more rear end left. Look at me. They ain't chewed it out. They've been chewing me out the whole time. So I'm going to lean on you guys. And if a guy's not getting that, he ain't getting it, believe me, he'll get the message. Fine. You know what? You ain't getting it? You come have a seat. How about that? You come have a seat right beside me. We all going to be watching the game then. That's the way it's going to work. So, the guys got to take it upon themselves, man. And Larry Kirksey said it's better than anybody else. He says the players in the room are an extension and a reflection of the coach.
Right.
The players in the room are an extension and a reflection of the coach and his attitude. So you can take it for what it will, right? So if I'm a coach, I'm going to worry about what my guys are putting out there as a product, because you're a reflection of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my job, my neck on the line. Okay? They ain't find JD. I tell you what, they ain't get rid of me. Okay? Because one of y'all gonna go before I go. Believe that. True. You know what I mean? That's the truth.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up that point because I think it kind of relates to what we were seeing with Eric Bieniemy when he was here. I think he was someone who was on top of his players, and they wanted to play for him. And another guy I miss as well too, who was actually a wide receiver coach and running back coach, is Greg Lewis. We saw him out there on the field fighting with Tyreek Hill. They're going at it, yelling. Then they go hug it up, clap it out when he scored a touchdown. That's what we need. We just went. I feel we were talking about this before. I think we were talking about it in the post game. And I was like, people talking about, Andy Reid, he's never out there doing nothing. It feels like he never yells. Well, we got to remember Andy Reid, he has to worry about all elements of the game right now. He need to look out on the field. He need to see what penalties is going on. He got to see if he has to throw a challenge flag. He's worried about what Pat's doing. He's worried about what his offense is doing. That's why he got these other assistant coaches as well to be able to get into their position groups, butts, and really go out there and be like, hey, we need to do this. We don't see him go talk to the defense. Spags, Joe out there, they're dogs. They in his face arguing with Chris Jones. And Chris Jones go out there, we didn't see him miss a beat. That's what that we just need that fire on that side of the ball. And I think they can bring that out. Don't be scared to do it. So I mean, I'm happy to see it. I'm ready to see what this later part of the season brings for us. But having this conversation and seeing what you said, now it makes more sense to me that okay, everybody need to come together. It's fine when these players. I feel like sometimes they may come at the coach a little bit because they're still grown men at the end of the day. But let's talk about it. Let's see where we going wrong at. What do I need to do? And I missed that. We worried about what was going on in the AFC Championship game when we lost against the Cincinnati Bengals in 2021, and we want to blame Eric Bieniemy. The next year, come back, we win against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Before he go on.
Talk it. True. That's the truth. Hey, hey, listen. Hey, and Eric Bieniemy, he did. Look, I know EB. Okay, me and EB play together. I seen EB. I know EB. And EB is not playing with guys. He's not, look, and he's like, look, I done played in the league. Just like Greg. Hey, I done played in the league. Ain't nothing you're going to say to me, okay? Mm-hmm. You can't tell me something and think I'm going to believe it. It don't work like that. And so he's going to put them in their place. That's why Shady don't like him right now. Because EB was like, look, man, you ain't the same guy. What you want me to do? Look, he's like, look, I done been there before, Shady. Look, go on, get you a couple of your totes, okay? And be happy, right? Be happy with it. But that's the thing about it. EB, he ain't gonna pull no punches. He's not gonna do it. And so that is the element that we are missing on offense. Absolutely. You need that guy who is the bad guy or the bad cop, or wouldn't even say the bad guy, but the truth teller. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need a guy that's gonna tell the truth. Okay. He ain't gonna massage your ego and hey man, where you going out with or where you going out tonight? Man, you better get your butt in bed, man. You ain't looked at the playbook in 2 weeks. Right? Seriously. Hey, and that's
real.
Like, because look, he done played the game before. Greg done played the game before. Kind of done played college and stuff, but in the NFL is a whole different game because it's a job. You know what I'm saying? And so when guys are sitting there and saying, like, man, look, all our jobs are on the line because of you and everybody's not straight. That's how it works. Right? Everybody got to do their job. And so, yeah, you worried about the SEC game, man. We got job to do. They pay you for this. Okay? They weren't paying you like that in college. And so when we see that against Cincinnati, EB jumped on Pat real quick. Like, man, why do you make that throw? You know what I'm saying? They got into a heated argument. EB was ready to snatch Pat up. Like, man, I told you, do not make that throw. Like, we know the one throw you don't make is that one right there. Okay? Let's go back with some points. And so he had to be truthful. And as much Pat, going back and forth, they was able to hug it up because they understood. Pat understood that his passion of things he wanted to win. That's just like Coley. He understood that Chris Jones is passionate. That's what Coley threw the fine. Do it your way then. Do you want to do it your way? Is that right? In the very next segment, we seen him. They both just smiling and he's listening to what Coley. That's how it works. That's how it works, man. You got guys that want to win. I don't need a guy that's going to pat me on my back. AJ, it's going to be all right. No, don't pat me on my back. Tell me what I did wrong. Fine. You don't have to, but you can be straight like, yo, JD, we need that one. Okay? Cool. I got you. I ain't going to let you go. You know what I'm saying? So EB made sure, man, these guys were responsible, held them accountable. And that's exactly what you need. You need a voice like that. Because, like you said, Andy's got a lot on his plate. But he needs to get on his coach and say, look, man, you need to lean on these guys. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what it is, what you need to tell them dudes, but you need to lean on them. Okay?
Right.
Make it uncomfortable for them. Fine, whatever. Make it uncomfortable. I don't even care if you come over, just kick over a table if you need to. Well, guys think it's all right. All right? That's what I mean. Hey, that's what you do. Flick on the lights real quick when you go on film. Man, turn this light on. Sure.
Man, I love it.
Yeah, everybody, get out of here. Let's get out of here. That's what I'll do. Get out of here. Just get out of me. Get out. We don't see no more of this. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to put guys on their toes.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and the thing is, because you just want more for them, right? And we all grown men, but I'm just like, man, look, we out here warriors. We all trying to do it for ourselves. We trying to do it together. We trying to make this win, okay? If we make it hard on ourselves, let's be truthful. We're making it harder on ourselves. We making it hard on ourselves. We need to fix it. We need to fix it. I tell you what, boy, man, they could have had me as boy. We'd be out there running. I'm telling you, we'd be out there running. We take a couple laps around the field early. You know what I'm saying? Talking noise.
Let them know.
We'd be ready. We'd be ready.
Sure.
I'm sure Connor's doing a good job, because his dad did a good job, right?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's got to have their approach. He's just a young guy, okay? And he'll get it. And he's not doing his job. I'm sure he is the best of his ability. But when you have a young guy, going back to that, you want to have a guy that has that experience, knows how to handle young guys, knows how to develop them quickly. Because time's ticking, man. It's ticking.
Yep.
So to piggyback off that, so we talked about like player, progression. Is there such thing as coaching progression in that regard too, where you can see where a coach is, he ain't quite feeling himself yet, but then the next year he's confident, he knows what he's talking about, and that respect and that level goes up.
Oh, absolutely. And as a coach, if you're doing a good job, as a coach, when you go in, how guys are playing. And like I said, your players are an extension from who you are. Now, you can have talented guys in the room, okay? And talent speaks for itself, right? Like, I can't coach speed. I know it. Tyreek Hill, that sucker runs a 4.2, whatever, faster than anybody on the planet. I can't coach. Hey, that ain't nothing I did. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do that. Tyreek, I'm going to let him play. But you best believe when I'm sitting there and I'm talking to him, in his head, he's going to know from me each and every time, you cannot get beat. There's nobody that can hold you out there on this field. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? And I'll whisper to him every time, hey, nobody can hold you. Look at you. Look at that. Hey, nobody can get you right now. And so Connor has to do the same thing. MVS. You know what, MVS? Ain't nobody can hold you. You fast. You're like a daggone gazelle out there. You was gazelle up there in Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? Get these suckers off your neck. All these guys, these naysayers. Get them off your neck. You know how you get them off your neck? You go catch you one deep, all right, and take it to the house. How about you go do 2 of those today? You know what I'm saying? That's what it has to be. You got to talk to these guys, man. You got to get these guys ready. But my job as a coach is I got to make sure and develop these guys, facilitate them. Same thing mentally, I got to keep them there. I got to keep them high all the time. But I also got to make sure they ain't too high, right, to the point they ain't listening to me. Because you start, where these guys, I'm making, whatever, 15 million. Coach can't tell me nothing. Great guys and great players want to be coached by great coaches. They want to be great coaches. Okay. So I don't know if I answered your question, man. I don't know.
No, yeah, absolutely. To follow up, can you tell like a certain person, maybe maybe Connor isn't fit for wide receiver coach. Maybe he's got like personality for another type of position. Does it work like that? Can you tell like, oh yeah, that guy's definitely an offensive line coach or a wide receiver type coach, or see anything like that?
You know what ends up happening? Guys get opportunities, okay? To coach different positions because you want to be well versed overall. Okay. So sometimes the guy will go from offensive line to tight end to running back to wide receiver coach. Connor was a wide receiver in college because he is, I would say NFL is in his blood. it is progression. It's still development. Okay, Sean McVay wasn't the Sean McVay he was today. He had to learn how to become that guy. Okay, sometimes it takes these guys to develop as coaches. That's the truth of it. And so when you start seeing these guys coming out here that's getting all these head coaching jobs and don't win, shoot, that takes some time. Josh McDaniels is not a head coach. Sorry, he's a great coordinator. Okay, he's a great coordinator. But even had chance at head coaches and all these different things, and guys will tell you he does not develop guys. Right? This ain't me saying it. I don't know. I've never been in the locker room with Josh McDaniels. These are guys that's been in the locker room with him, and they've said this. Okay, so I'm gonna believe what they say. But I know at sucker he can call a play. He can do it. His offensive, he's an offensive guru, and so it is progression. You look at guys to progress, and coaches doing the same thing. Man, it takes time. It takes time to develop a great coach. It does.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Connor, he was actually a quality coach, right? Like he was like doing that. So with being a quality coach, I don't know the details of that position. Do you recall like what they actually do? Because I want more insight of like what was his responsibility in that role, pretty much.
So quality coaches are the ones that pretty much get like your game plan together throughout the week, your practice plan. They're like the jack of all trades. They're helping all the coaches out, like getting all this stuff together, right? All the paperwork. They're the ones that's kind of behind the scenes, making sure everything is up, the film is up, all those different things. So he's learning football, he's learning offense, he's learning all those different things. But then it's like, okay, I'm gonna hand the keys over to you, okay? Because you done went through basically like internship. You done did all the things that you need to do. You watched all the other coaches who has been coaches. You watch what they do and how they coach. So now it's your turn and opportunity, right? And I think Connor could be a good coach in the NFL. I think he can. I'm not saying he's not one right now, but a guy that just came from being a quality control coach, okay, getting maybe one of the most important positions on the team, at least now as we see it, because of the young guys. To me, I don't know. So, but look, I say that because Andy, those guys trust him. All right. So they gave him a job for a reason. So I'm not going to take anything away from Connor and saying that it's on him or whatnot. But, Andy, those guys trust him. And so if they see something in him and they trust him, then, we got to ride with it. But what we do see, is where the wide receiver room is, right? And why is that? Is all these things, maybe Connor, maybe even Nagy. Okay, maybe it is where EB is gone. Okay, it may be somewhat of a little tailoring of the offense, somewhat, right? So all those things play a factor in it. Okay, so I don't, put it all on him. I'm just saying he might play a part in these things, right? To develop it.
Yeah, and I really needed that explanation from that because now I can view it in a way of, okay, really this your first year actually getting your feet wet. If you're doing all these errands and running around and getting stuff together for them, I mean, and you going to other probably positional meetings as well too, you seeing pretty much everything. You were handed over the keys to, if not the second most important position on the offense, which we do as fans always think is like when we go out to the off season, we always talk about we in a running for this type of guy. So now when viewing him even in that press conference that he had as well too, it's like maybe he's not trying to do too much in his first year. Maybe he's trying to temper himself and not really just put himself out there and have guys look at him funny. I think maybe in year 2 and going forward, maybe you kind of get that confidence. Maybe you are more outspoken because maybe as of now, it seems like that's not what I'm seeing. And I don't really like the attacks that I'm seeing on social media as well, too, because this is a first year guy. We all need a chance at something. So seeing him coming from a quality coach, it's like, okay, now I understand the concept of what you was doing before.
Right.
You were put in a good position with a good team, like where it was like, we can help you build you up. We kind of got it. They know what they were doing before, but now the expectation is saying like, oh, we need you to actually get in their butts. We need you to actually like fire these guys up and be ready to play. So I definitely appreciate that explanation because it makes a lot more sense now.
Right. And I'm going to say this. Connor could be doing all those things. I don't know. I'm not in the meetings. He could be doing all those things, right? Like I said, Anthony don't trust him for a reason. And I keep going back to, if you are a guy that just been handed over the second, most important position on the field, myself, I might want somebody that has a little bit more experience. Now, here's the thing. Could he have been handed over the keys to the tight end room? Right? Those guys, you don't need a coach. Ain't nothing you really need to do with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So Travis, what are you going to tell Travis? You going to tell him how to run an out route? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we would say, we used to joke on that sometimes because, me and Tony, because the number of years we had in the league, like we done ran every route, we did every play. We calling out the plays and stuff. We had our stuff tight. Like, we in meeting rooms and we done seen thousands and thousands of hours of film. Okay, and went against Strahan 20 times, and you know what I mean. We know certain guys. We know it because and what our communication with each other was so on point. You know what I mean? And so I would say it was probably a much easier room to coach.
Right.
Because what are you going to tell, an 8-time Pro Bowler you need to do on this route? Okay. How to get open against Rodney Harrison. Are you kidding me? Like, how you going to tell him how to get open? You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest tight end. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Hey, look, not saying that you can't coach him, and maybe he's asking for instruction because he will. But you don't have to do so much of the coaching. You don't have to do too much of it, right? Much easier job.
Yep.
But if I sit over here and I'm like, I'm looking in there, and we all looking at each other because we all trying to figure it out at the same time. And the wide receiver looking there, okay, what you got for us? He's like, I don't know, man. Hold on. Let me make some phone calls real quick. Let me see what, something like that. That could be the case. I'm like I said, I'm not talking bad about it. He could be doing all this stuff.
Yeah. Because that idea, I mean, it does make sense. You chilling with Travis Kelce all day. I mean, this is a guy who has been doing this at a high level for a long time, and then just picking up the knowledge from him as well too. Guess what you can do with that? Go mess with the younger guys and help build them and develop that, and that's getting you experience as well too. So it makes a lot of sense. And I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I think he still has that opportunity as well too, right? Because he's still around the team. He's still in that room.
So. Absolutely. 100%. And look, I know he's growing. I know he's getting better. Like I said before, his pops is getting him. His pops been coaching for a number of years. His pop played in the NFL, and so I know he's been helping him. I'm sure Carter's been went to him like, yo, pops, this is what's going on in the room, and I'm sure him was like, yo, man, you got to get in these dudes' tail. You know what I'm saying? They ain't doing right, but what's going on in the room? And so I know he's got man, come on, he's got the best coaching. With Andy Reid and those guys with him too. So, and a lot of this, we just got to put on guys getting better. The players got to put it on themselves to get better. They have to. They have to. So, but who's that guy? That's my question. Who's that guy? Who's the guy in the room standing up like, hey, man, we got to get better. Like, this stuff right here is not okay. Who's the guy in the room doing that? Because sometimes it ain't about the coach. Hey, coach.
Right.
I've been in plenty of meetings where it's like, all right, coach, we need for you to step out for a second. Okay. Mm-hmm. We get finished talking. Coaches don't, okay. Let them in. Right? And
right.
We've had plenty of meetings like that. So, sometimes the players got to, police the players.
Right.
Yep. And I definitely understand that and feel that too. I remember seeing that clip of Jarvis Landry that went viral a couple of years ago, him with the Cleveland Browns, kind of standing up and just being a leader in that room and kind of setting the standard moving forwards. But I just piggybacking off of all of this wide receiver talk, just wanted to bring up another name that we were just talking about there, Greg Lewis. Greg Lewis is a guy that we've seen move from wide receiver coach to running back coach. To eventually, I thought he would be an offensive coordinator, kind of taking that same route as Eric Bieniemy. I know you said that we were just talking about Connor. He went from quality coach to wide receiver coach. Do you think we should have gave Greg Lewis that opportunity to be that offensive coordinator and probably lead this regime players being and also just do you think how big of a role do you think Greg played as far as just in our development as far as the offense and getting us to where we were before he left?
Oh, it was huge. It was huge because he played under Andy. So what he could do, he could talk to those guys with Andy talk, right? He could let them know exactly what Andy means when he wants on these certain plays and what they're supposed to do. What's a better person to have than somebody who's actually played on this guy and try to understand it? He's a guy that played under Andy, right, for a number of years. And I think Greg, he's going to get his opportunity. He's going to get his opportunity. It was tough because you had Nagy here, right? And so that's what was going to hinder him, is having Nagy. And so it's hard when you have a guy like that has the years and accomplishment, just been a head coach, and then handing over the keys to Greg Lewis. Not saying that Greg don't, because he deserves it. I think he could call a heck of a game. You know, I'd love to see his offense. I really would. Right. So it's the same thing, man. You just got to buy your time. It's opportunities, what you get. And you know, who knows? Shoot, he might be on another team next year as a OC, right?
Right.
And I'll tell you what happens. It's what ends up happening when you start winning games. Okay, everybody benefits off that. Okay, right. Start winning Super Bowls, and so that's why you start seeing all the Patriot coaches going places and being head coaches, right? Because they just like, well, you're just gonna bring some of that Patriot way here, right? That's what we're looking for. Shoot, Doug leaves from under Andy, goes to Philly, wins the Super Bowl, goes to Jacksonville, still doing it. You know, I played for Doug. And so that's how it works. That's the reason Andy is where he is. Under Hoover, you know, under Bill Walsh and those guys, that's the coaching tree. That's how it works in the NFL, man. Success breeds more success, and you want those guys. You want everybody to touch those guys and understand what success is. That's what you want. So,
agree.
Yeah, Greg. I like Greg a lot, man. He get his time.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised. Once Eric Bieniemy left and went to the Commanders, I was surprised he actually didn't follow him along over there as well too, becoming a wide receiver coach, because it seemed like they gave him a lot of pull as well, and I thought maybe he'll work with Bieniemy and probably grow with him and try to get that position eventually. But look at what he's doing over there in Baltimore with the Ravens. I mean, OBJ, Zay Flowers looking good. Rashad Bateman having a better season, and they don't ever want to see it in the AFC as well too. So he might be making a name for himself. And we like you said, eventually he'll probably get that OC position again somewhere else. Hopefully, but hopefully it works out for him. But me and Lonnie, we've always been going back and forth about that. So we was like, why we didn't try to keep Greg Lewis? Because even if he didn't become OC, like you said, Matt Nagy already came in, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I would like to see him at the quarterback coach. Let me see him talk to Pat. Let me see what he do on a day-to-day basis with him. Like, I want to see how that engagement go and see what brings it, what type of success it brings out of Pat as well too. So I mean, it's definitely fun, but yeah, we was always going back and forth on that one. So that I just wanted to put that out there. But really, I know we getting close towards the end of this. We've been going for almost an hour and a half right now.
Yeah.
The rest of the season, how you feel? What you think is going to happen? I mean, I know we don't like to speak ahead in the future.
Yeah,
but you know,
I could tell it. I could tell it right now. I like our chances, man. I think we went out. To be honest with you, I do. So I don't think there's any team. I said this: these last few games, Buffalo was going to be our toughest opponent. It was going to be our toughest opponent. We had them on the ropes. We should have beat these guys, just like every game that we were in. The only team that we lost to was the Broncos because everybody had the flu and all type of other stuff. We weren't ready. Whatever. Okay.
Yep.
Other than that, we had everybody else's number. Should have won each and every one of those games. So I like our chances. I think we went out. I don't know what the other team's going to do. You know, I know we need some things to happen. Well, Baltimore maybe losing 2, which is possible. Miami definitely losing 1, which is possible. So I like our positioning. I will say this: if we happen to take it on the road, there's no team. I don't care who it is. No team wants to see the Chiefs. Promise you
Agreed.
that. They don't. Yeah. You know, you can see him right now getting our draw. Oh, man. Oh, no. Shoot. Oh, okay. All right, now. Yeah, hey, you know this is one and done, right? Like, there ain't no coming back from this. So we could play with anybody in the NFL, man. We're the Super Bowl champs for a reason. We're defending champs for a reason. And I think that we still got the team that can do it. They can still win the Super Bowl. So, yeah, look, we watch it week in and week out. Sometimes we could talk about San Fran, then all of a sudden San Fran loses about 3 in a row, and everybody's like, well, they ain't as good as they thought they were, right? Same thing with Dak, where Dak and them ain't as good as they thought they were. And now you see Cowboys walking around with stars on their chest. I ain't seen so many Cowboys jerseys in forever. I'm like, man, come on, man. You need to cut that out wearing them jerseys out there. Yeah, man, look at them Cowboys. No. How about them Cowboys? I ain't heard them for a long time. Same thing with Philly. But I'm seeing though, with us, there's nobody we need to dodge, man. And I think right now, with the controversy that's happened, obviously, toward the end of the game, the frustration that's been happening in the last few weeks that's been brewing, I think the guys just need to close the doors. They need to close the doors to the outside world and get everything tightened up inside. If they do that, they focus up, they're going to be fine, man. Eliminate the penalties and the turnovers, and we win games. Period. Bottom line. That's it. And catch the football. Once you do that, you're going to be fine, man.
Gotta catch the football.
So from like the fans' perspective, it looks like they've slowed down or they're mortal or like whatever superlative you want to put on it. But if you're a player on another team in the playoffs, you don't even consider that they are wounded at this point. You're just saying, man, look at their track record. We could be in trouble. All it takes is 13 seconds. 13 seconds. They find themselves, and we underestimated them.
Oh yeah, I think when teams look at us, first off, you got to look at our defense. What our defense has been doing, locking every daggone receiver that you got in the NFL. The best,
right?
You can eat their lunch. Sneed been out there, man, balling. Balling. So who you gonna put out there? We didn't cover the best. We didn't cover the best in the league. Okay, and I'm talking about not just covering them. I'm talking about shutting them down. All right, sending each other home. Like when you coming in that week, you're like, well, look, I know I ain't gonna hit the 100 mark this week. Okay, I know that. So that's the thing about it, man. When your defense is humming, that's a good position to be in because it's not like, well, defense may beat. No, you suckers are good. We know we have a defense. Spags been calling it a hell of a game, man, a brilliant game. And I like these guys because they are hungry. And I love that. You know what? I love that with CJ and them getting on it on the sideline. I love that part of it. I did. I loved it because that means the other jokers are satisfied with anything. And mediocrity, satisfied at all. Okay. So CJ's getting me, coach. You coach the way you supposed to coach. Okay. This is us doing your stuff. Now, are you messing up? Right. So that's what I love about it. And so with our defense playing the way that they are, and I know we didn't really talk about defense. I love our chance and opportunity, man. Bolton is back too. Our general is back. He's back. Man. So I think we're going to be fine, man. Our offense just needs to figure it out, man. Catch up with what our defense is doing. All we need to do is score 21 points, 24 points, and we're going to be fine. We're going to win games because our defense is going to hold everybody under 21, under 3 tubs. So that's what it is. We do that, man, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. So
there's that like talk of, Andy Reid kicks it on when it's like playoff time. Is it literally we got to wait 4 more weeks for it to feel like they're taking their issues more seriously? Or are we about that time where Andy's like, okay, forget all that. We're using all the good plays. We're doing whatever it takes to get the W.
Right.
Yeah. Andy, Andy don't have a separate playbook. Okay. He's a creative guy. He does a lot of window dressing. But I do know playoff time when it comes in, there's a different focus there. And so every game is important, especially now because you're trying to get, the number 1 seed. We understand that bodes well for us. the past couple of years, you can lose a game. You can sit guys out toward the end of the game. Have them stand on the jersey with on the sideline eating sunflower seeds. Getting ready for the playoffs.
Right.
But now, hey man, we need every game, and I think they need every game to develop. That's the way I look at it. Like at this point, because everybody's fussing and stuff, I don't want no easy road. Those guys don't want an easy road. Fine, bring it all to them. Bring the sledgehammer if you need to. We're fine. We're gonna take it all on. That's where we're at, and I think that's what these guys are at that point right now. They don't care about anything. Screw it all. Fine, let it come as it should come. Okay, so. I think Andy does a good job because now these guys, he's still cooking it up. He's getting these guys all prepared. These next 4 weeks. So I'm looking at on the schedule, right? You got the Patriots, you got the Raiders, you got the Bengals, you got the Chargers. I think right now you pull out all stops and you challenge each and every of this wide receiver group. And I'm talking about throwing some deep routes, all of that. See what they can do. I would. Hey, open up the whole playbook. I don't care. This extra playbook he's supposed to have, go open it up.
Mm-hmm.
You bring it out the back, blow the dust off. Okay, bring it on out here. It's time. Okay, we ain't got time to wait on anything else, man.
Facts.
All right, and I'm one of those as an offensive guy. I think you give teams so much to look at that they don't know what you're going to do. Okay, as opposed to taking your playbook down, let them look at everything. Now that's almost like the dude, the corner from Green Bay was like, I seen Pat do Pat. Like, the first time I checked to that. Dude ain't never seen that before. Suck a line. You know what I mean? So, but I think they'll be ready. Yeah. I like our chances on everything. Okay.
Agreed.
Yep.
And we're playing 4 backup quarterbacks. So if we keep struggling against those, I think people would be maximizing their panic meter at this point.
Yeah. 4 backup quarterbacks, but a couple quarterbacks is pretty good now. Cincinnati,
that's right.
Browning,
quarterback, yeah. Even my dude from the Raiders, he throws some good balls. He got good receivers.
Yeah,
man. Josh Jacobs in the background. You best do not walk through there thinking that's going to be an easy cakewalk. Okay, so they want to spoil the party.
For sure.
So yeah, everybody got to be ready, man.
Definitely are winnable games, and I'm excited to see what happens. I've been loving the defense so far this year. Well, that's been like one of the things we've been praising all year. Trent McDuffie been my guy. So just seeing what we can do, I just think the offense just has to capitalize on the opportunities when they get us the ball back, and they did it multiple times in the previous games to where we had a chance to go forward or go ahead or at least tie it up. They got the stop that's needed, and that's what makes me happy when the postseason comes, because I keep on posting every time, even though we lose, change the record. 12-5 is gonna be crazy when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, because when it comes to postseason, and you alluded to it already earlier, really they're gonna be scared to play the Chiefs. It's like, okay, we saw what they did in the regular season, but these are the reigning Super Bowl defending champs. We know if Pat goes into God mode, it can be deadly for us, and we're gonna have to probably be in a shootout, even with the weapons that he has. We don't know if that happens. So unleash the playbook, unleash the secret. I'm ready to see it, because I want to see how far and how deep we got with these guys, and I'm ready to really put up a lot of points and not give up a lot of points as well too. I'm ready for a blowout, honestly.
Me too.
I've been waiting for one all season. So yeah.
Take the training wheels off, man. The time is done, man. You know what I'm saying? The time is over. It is now. It is now to unleash all of it. And then imagine everybody, we over start blowing folks out in the next 4 games. These suckers will be shaking in their boots. And we done pissed the Chiefs off now. We done
woke up the bear. Andy Reid is actually trying to blow out teams instead of just politely lay them down on the ground.
Nope. Not gonna happen.
Hey, look, if I was Pat, I'd run out there every game with my helmet off, with my mohawk to the side, just shaking. I just my little headband on. I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't even come in. I'm just running straight to the craft like that, just focused up. That would be, man, for real. That's why I say Priest used to come in. I was like, Priest need to come into the stadium on a chariot right now. That's what he need to do. That's a priest. One game, priest. One game. Just come in
I mean, you brought him up. What, just from a geeking out young Chiefs fan perspective, what was it like being on the field for that record 27th touchdown?
Shoot, man. Hey, you know, when you're in it, you don't quite know you're in it. You know, and it's people are telling you what. Okay, this is what they are, the records and stuff like that. Man, we were a machine at that point.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm telling you, walking around with your chest out, you know, chin up high. That's how we were walking around. We was playing bully ball, and the thing was, we would tell defenses like, we are running right here. You ain't gonna do nothing about it. You ain't gonna do nothing about it. Yeah, look, I know y'all too young to know who Billy Jack is. Okay, all right. I'm gonna put y'all on to something, man. You have to look at YouTube and look at Billy Jack. And Billy Jack, it was a guy that, you know, who was half Indian, half a white guy. And I remember he told this one dude, like now a whole group of guys. He said, "I'm gonna take my right foot, I'm gonna put it across the left side of your face, and you ain't gonna do nothing about it." And I was like, check it out. And that's how the Chiefs got to think about it. That's how we were doing back then. Look, we were running right here on the D gap. We running the belly, the boss. You're not doing anything about it. Stop us, okay? Stop us.
That's Larry Bird.
Yeah, right. It's Larry. Larry, like, you know, shoot. What's the record in this hellhole? What is it? Yeah. So that's the attitude the Chiefs got to have at this point right now. Like you said, it's got to be bully ball. It's got to be bully ball. Get everybody on the same page, man. Offensive linemen. I don't know if y'all been watching Travis. Travis been pushing a whole lot of guys around. He's been pushing guys. Yes. Yeah. I'm like, oh man, I love it. I love it. So that's where everybody need to be. Now, we need to see some wide receivers, you know, with a little fight in them. You know what I mean? So
I'm glad we got a quote from a former tight end saying that Travis Kelce is good at blocking, so everyone can shut up and stop saying he isn't.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Well, you know, he got to do it in front of his boo too. You know, he got to make sure. He can't.
Man, I'm the man of the house for sure. You know, I handle his business over here. That's exactly what he's saying. But you just spoke about Priest Holmes, right? I love Priest Holmes. Mm-hmm. But I gotta talk about Larry Johnson, like him as a running back.
LJ.
All those years. You got the jersey on right now. We know he going crazy right now. But that's my boy still. But hey, like you was there when of course. He was, because what year did he come in? Did he take over in 06, 05, or I know 07 for sure.
Yeah. I think it might have been 05. It might have been 05.
Mm-hmm. Because Priest had that injury, and that's when he came in, right?
Yeah.
Number 34, then switched to 27. Something like that. Yeah. So how was it when he was, you know, running the ball, and what was like the differences you seen with him and Priest Holmes?
Larry was he was a bigger back. Mm-hmm. So Larry being 230, man, he could make guys miss an action and just outrun everybody. Mm-hmm. It was a rare thing to see, man. It was a rare thing to see. You know, he almost was like the ability like a OJ. You know what I'm saying? And Larry could. I mean, he could make guys miss in the hole. You know, and he started talking smack to him too. You know, LJ, shoot. I mean, you see how he is now. You imagine what he talk smack. So, but that was the thing about it, man. Seeing a guy his size move that fast and like outrun guys, because I don't remember a time, at least not right now. I can't recollect. I probably will later on, but I can't remember a guy like actually running LJ down. You know what I'm saying? Once he get out, once he break out, I don't know if I seen anybody go get him. You know what I'm saying? So that was a rarity, and LJ would run hard. He'd run angry. You know what I'm saying? He would run angry. It's almost like you know how Pacheco, you know, when he gets up on angry, gets him up off of him. You know, that's LJ. LJ used to do the same thing. You know, get off me. You know, just, hey, okay, LJ. You know. But yeah, man, that was my guy, man. That was my guy. So yeah, LJ, man,
That's what's up.
incredible talent, and it's unfortunate how things kind of ended in Kansas City, man.
Yeah,
that's what every yeah. But shout out, man, to Priest and LJ. I just want to say it to those guys. P. Rich, all those go Blaylock, all those dudes, man. Those guys, man, we put in work.
Oh, you brought back one for me. I don't know why I like Blaylock though. He was returning, then he was coming in running back. I was like, okay, number 23, I'm loving it. Hey, we gotta stop it. We can't go back in the day. We can't do that. We can't.
Blaylock was the tiptoe bandit. That's why I used to call him, man. He looked like he was on the tiptoes all the time running through. Ice skating out there. He skating, man. He skating. Yeah. My boy Block.
Man.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you've played with, at least on the Chiefs side, 3 different Hall of Famers. You got Willie Rowe.
Mm-hmm. Willie Rowe. Yep.
Tony G, which obviously I'm going to have you talk about way more. And then Brian Waters. Oh, Will Shields, that's right.
Will Shields. Yep. Brian Waters should get in. Hopefully he gets
pretty
in.
Soon.
Yeah.
So, opposite tight end.
I'm going to say yes. I know people don't talk about this, but Priest, what he did in those years, Priest should be considered into in the Hall of Fame.
Talk about the player, like, don't give up on him early on, because he just really didn't get to do anything the first couple of years, and then had a little stint in Baltimore where he got to shine, and then it's like, oh, who's this guy? He looks amazing.
Yeah.
So Tony G, man, you were the opposite side of him, so obviously you talked about your great athletic ability prior to Kansas City. Obviously, Tony gets all the attention and credit here. So what was it like playing with him, and what was he like personality wise?
Shoot, man, that's my brother. You know, the TG, man, cerebral, a machine. Joke only lost. He only missed one game the entire time. He would not get hurt. It was hard. You couldn't take him down, man. That's the thing about him. He was just and TG will block. Tony will block. You know, obviously, heavy lifting might regulate to me, but TG, he would get up underneath somebody's chin and absolutely block and throw him down and hit him. So, and Tony was probably one of the top pure catching guys I see catching football. Like when I'm talking about just soft pillow hands and plucking the ball out of the air, fronting the ball up. I don't think I've seen anybody better than TG doing that. Seriously. And so TG would get doubled and triple team like Travis is getting now. TG, that'd be normal to TG, double team and stuff. So personality wise, man, he's a Huntington Beach guy from California. You know what I'm saying? Flip flop dude. So you see him now. It's kind of funny because we all in a group texting on the show while he's on the show, texting him and stuff. We be getting on him about his little turtleneck and stuff. I'm like, man, you should wear it. Now you got turtlenecks and stuff on. I said, man, I'm proud of you, though. I'm proud of you.
Upgrade.
Yeah. But Tony, man, he is a Cal guy, and so some of the things people don't know about Tony. Tony's like an avid reader. He reads everything, and it was all about getting better. It was all about how do you improve yourself. That's what it was with him. And so he did a good job as far as rubbing off on each other on a lot of different things. Me helping him with blocking, maybe the passing game, some of the things, and that's how it was. That's how it was, man. We had a tight group of guys. Me, him, Billy Baber, Chris, what I'm saying? K-Dub, Chris Wilson. Man, we had a lot of guys, man. It was just a tight group. And so that was the thing about it, man. Tony, I say this, because he told me he kind of changed when he got to Atlanta. In Kansas City, he wasn't vocal. He wasn't a vocal guy. Show guys just how he would work, and guys would see it like, okay, this is what it means to work, to be a Pro Bowl player. He said when he got to Atlanta, because he had some of the younger guys, he would talk to them. He would tell them what they need to do and how to help them. Matter of fact, I remember he was helping out Dwayne Bowe, the same thing. Like, look, man, hey, this is how you catch a football. You put your helmet on, catch it with the ball and stuff like that. So he started getting into that mode and transition of like kind of helping guys even more at that part of his career. So yeah, man, well deserved. TG. And everybody always talks about who was the best tight end ever, him or Travis Kelce. Man, TG to me he gets the nod because 17 years. I think one game he missed. I mean, you're not throwing the football like they're throwing the football now. When you were running, so we had Priest Holmes was getting, like you said, 27 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Totally different time, totally different offense. So, but TG, man, like I said, man, he was just, we had the two best tight ends ever, Tony Gonzalez and Travis Kelce.
Facts.
Period.
Yes, sir.
Period. And everybody keeps bringing up Gronk, man. Gronk has his way, but man, Gronk wasn't better than TG. He wasn't. Not in my opinion.
Tom Brady the entire time.
Yeah. I think Chase Gamer just salty a little bit as well too, just because his comments when he went to Atlanta as well. I mean, let's be honest, he went to the Super Bowl with Atlanta, right? Was he like no, he wasn't. He didn't go to the Super Bowl with Atlanta. He was that's what's his, like, I guess his later part of his years, he was like really doing a lot. So I think those comments just like got people in their feelings about that. But still, that don't matter to me. I mean, growing up watching him, that was the show. Him, Trent, Priest, and TG. So really, I love to see it. I definitely know we still love you, bro. We still love you. It's all love.
I'll tell you what. Think of it like this. It's almost the same like Tyreek Hill, right? So, but Tyreek's just he's criminal with his, right?
Yeah.
This and that, blah. I think TG was, that's the team he's playing for now, and he had to say something about the guys he's with. You don't want to keep saying, well, I enjoy the Chiefs, but Atlanta's paying you money. Okay,
right?
You can enjoy it, like, okay. You don't want your new girlfriend. You don't want to hear about your old girlfriend all the time, right? And somebody talking about, man, great girl, and we had great times together. Your new girlfriend don't want to hear that. Go ahead,
Nah.
Well, he just trying to do right by Atlanta. He trying to do right by Atlanta. Then of course there was some feelings there, how some things happened with the Chiefs, kind of behind the scenes, and all that was with Todd Haley and all those guys. Man, that was a mess. That was a mess. So I think that was part of it. Some feelings was into it. TG loves Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? He cut his teeth here. So that's how it was. That's how it was, man.
Facts.
Yeah, some people won't let it go though. Like you said, they ain't gonna let it go. Tyreek Hill, look, I love Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill can say what he wants to say, but I know Tyreek Hill loves Kansas City. He loves his boys he's played with. But Tyreek Hill's dead to me now. Why? Someone won, Super Bowl with us. Okay, for what?
Jason, don't say that on here. Lonnie hate me. I'm gonna keep on going for Tyreek. I don't care. I've never seen nothing like that. I'm gonna keep on saying it. I don't care. We gonna still win too, but Tyreek, he different. He keep on doing what he doing. He's definitely going to be number one on my list. Just believe that.
Hey, look, congratulations to you, Tyreek. You know what I'm saying? Have a good time. Like number one, congratulations, right? Still got love for you. Supposed to. So he be trolling too, man. That's why he be getting people triggered up, trolling. Hey, look, and he knows. Once his viewership goes down, he said, look, let me say something about Kansas City now. Okay.
Right. Yep. Let me get y'all back watching again.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So, but now, gentlemen, listen, I had a great time, man, on the show, man. It was fun time, man. So y'all asked some really good questions. But yeah, man. It's a good time to just go out here and just kind of clown, man, kind of talk a little bit. I appreciate y'all just let me run my mouth a little bit. Okay.
Oh, for sure.
The pleasure was ours, man. We loved having you. Loved hearing you, especially getting that insider scoop. Like, just feel like we're getting a little extra something than everybody else.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like player perspective is always one of the best perspectives. We don't get it at all a lot because we are pedestrian. And I can say that with the biggest smile on my face. We are pedestrian and we are not NFL. We have not had that the blessing or grace to the grace of NFL field. And so we're thankful. I'm thankful for having you, getting to talk to you and getting that player perspective. I really appreciate that.
Right. Well, saying so. Seriously.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
for me, yeah, and salute. I want to say too, we definitely appreciate you. You know, sometimes it's definitely hard going out reaching to people. Some people are very nervous, and you are very welcoming when we reached out as well too, and we definitely enjoy that.
Amen.
And we appreciate it. We definitely can't wait to collab with you later on. But hey, we always watching Chiefs Concerns. We looking out for what you're saying out there as well too. I wanted to jump in on your argument today when you was talking about the route with MVS. So I'm definitely loving the content we seeing. So we definitely appreciate your time on here today for sure for Red Kingdom Media.
Well, look, guys, man, thanks for having me. To me, it's all about the interaction. You know, we just regular guys. We really are. So, at least for me, this stuff is the fun stuff because when you're playing, you know, you kind of in the mode of doing things. And now when I'm not playing it, it's always good to come back in and see fans and see people talk about the game and chopping things up. I love that. I love that part of it. So I'm glad I was able to do it, man. And definitely we had to do something on the collab for sure. All right. So, all right. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you,
Jason, for your time. Talk to you later, man.
Thank you, fellas, man. Y'all stay up with it. All right. Appreciate it.
Sir.
All right.
Later. Well, guys, that was quite the experience, huh?
Right. Definitely an experience. Definitely can't wait to do more of these, bro.
We're glowing, guys. We can't stop smiling.
Yeah.
Right.
We got told we're pretty or something.
Right.
That was definitely cool.
Yeah.
That was such a fun time. And everybody who's still watching us, thank you for spending this hour and 45 minutes plus with us. And anybody who is watching or listening to this later after the live is over, either later tonight or the next morning or next afternoon, thank you for listening. Hopefully you found it as entertaining as we did, because
for sure,
boy, that was so fun, fellas. Clearly we're going to try to be doing stuff like that again, and
for sure
getting that insider scoop, and just love getting different kinds of people in here so you can ask these other kinds of questions that you just would not think of depending on who you talk to or whatever. So it just gets the gears going, and you start thinking of some new conversation, like your quality control question. For like, as soon as you said that put in perspective, like my former job, like quality assurance in software is, hey, this is what a customer is going to be looking at when they use this piece of software. So can you make sure that from the customer's standpoint, it just works as business as usual, right?
Right.
Now put me in that like developer role. Say, okay, now instead of just seeing it from the front view and watching how things interact, now you have to know how everything is coded. You have to know how all the data is stored. You have to know what API services need to be used, et cetera, et cetera. So if you were just like, hey, we're taking you off, go ahead and do development now, I mean, I would be scared. You know what? So I feel that. Like the first time actually being in there, and you're with NFL players who've been there longer than you. So of course you're gonna like feel the need to step down in to some regard. But hopefully Andy does yell at him and say, hey, we need another Eric Bieniemy type, because now that we don't have that, our offense can be lackadaisical and, just can fall flat, versus they can make mistakes, but then they're going to get chewed out, and then they're going to be afraid to make that exact same mistake a second time.
We just need big balls, Embry, man. Come on, just step up, like fire up, like for real. Like, I'm gonna be honest, this is about to be the wild comparison. And Mike McDaniels, he is a Miami coach, like he's the head coach, and he's doing phenomenal things. But when you look at him, bro, he look like a geek, nerd type of dude who's funny though, and he like brings swagger to the team too. Embry, do the same thing, relate to him, but at the same time we relate to him, let him know like I'm not playing with you as well too. When we out at practice, you do the route lazy. I'm about to show you how I'm gonna do it at this age, and I'm not even an NFL player. Stop playing.
And now I get why he is like that, because if you've never done that specific role before, you're not going to exhibit confidence while doing it. And if you're not confident while doing it, and you're supposed to be teaching other people how to do it, and they don't truly believe that you know what you're talking about, then that's going to come across. So
yeah, it makes it look like what it is now, which is just dysfunction and not good. So I feel like he gave us a lot of perspective into what Mr. Embry does, and him as a coach, and him as a guy that was learning coached in college. So I like getting that perspective. Like you said, it gives us a different insight and a different look into that wide receiver room.
Yes,
and
sir.
I mean, he keep on providing the insight that he doing. Who says, that he don't try to like reach out? Who knows? I mean, we'll love it. But I think JD, he's just enjoying what he's doing right now. Definitely still a fan of the kingdom and everything like that. So right now I think he's doing a great job of playing that role as the advocate for the Chiefs, like saying like, calm down, like relax. I'm telling you. I know what Andy Reid did before. I know what he can do as well. I've seen the inside of the room a little bit. It's definitely different from when he was there, though, because they had Dick Mill and all those guys as well, too, and this is Andy Reid's system. But he was with Andy before in Philly before he came over to Kansas City as well, too, and experienced that. So just providing that, I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely had fun tonight as well, too. I thought we was gonna do like a good hour or so. We almost got to 2 hours. We was geeking out that much, you know. So.
Yeah, and because I kept waiting for him to think. All right, I think I'm in an hour 15, hour 30. I'm like, shoot, we'll talk all night. I could always find another 21 questions to ask. You kidding me?
Right.
I could do this all night.
Right.
Like we'll just sit here and I'll start thinking of 500 new questions when you just answered this other one.
Yep.
Oh, God. You tell how much we cheesing. So hopefully everybody else who was here or is listening after the fact enjoyed it as much as we did. If you didn't, I don't know how, because that was just good old football talk, baby.
Right. Definitely.
Anything you guys want to go over before we let these people out?
I'm good. All I'm gonna say is I appreciate everybody for definitely tuning in tonight. Definitely had one of our biggest guests as well too so far, and it's been enjoyable as well. Make sure that you watch all the stuff that we have out right now. Clinton just did his Home of the Breakdown with the Chiefs, Home of the Chiefs breakdown as well over the previous games that we had. We got more content coming as well too. Me and Lonnie with the podcast. So definitely tap in. And we definitely gonna have more shows like this as well too, trying to find other people who can come on and talk football with us and geek out for a minute. And keep on dropping y'all questions as well too. This was our first time bringing them in, so we just really wanted them free ball, have a good time, talk about it. But we're gonna definitely start having segments for y'all when he comes on again and have questions to put on here as well too. So for sure, I appreciate everybody for showing up tonight.
Yes, sir.
Yep, and I just want to share the same sentiment. Thank you, Red Kingdom Media, for showing up. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms. Like Dale said, go back and like all our videos, past videos, Clinton's videos, Home of the Breakdown, Daily Dale, Chiefing with Daily Dale, me and Dale's podcast. So just tap in with everything. We appreciate everybody showing up, and let's go.
Hey guys, look at you! Look at that! Like just smooth ad read. I love it. God, everything's just moving smooth today.
That's what happens when you're around greatness, right? No,
it just rubs off on you, or it inspires you to be that level. So it's definitely happened for us in this space, and we're hoping that the Chiefs that starts bleeding into the areas of concern. But according to Jason, just wait it out, guys. We're gonna be focused. We were just waiting for the right time, and now here we are. We are playoff time. It is real. This is real football. So no more being nice and trying to figure stuff out. We're just going to do what works and put the hammer down, baby.
Right.
Okay. Thank you all. Hope you have a great rest of your week. As Dale said, stay tuned later this week. We're going to have some more podcast episodes come out. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your week. As always, let's go.
Cheese.
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Cheese Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom